Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Budget and Finance Committee meeting for the City of Franklin. This is the June 13th meeting. We'll call the meeting to order with a roll call vote. Alderman Potts, how do you vote?
Present.
And Alderman Peterson, how do you vote?
Here.
And the chair votes present also. So that means that Alderman Baggett is not here. Okay. Second item on the agenda is setting the agenda. And does anyone have any agenda items that they wish to remove, replace, whatever? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Mr. Chair, we'll submit a motion to approve the agenda as it is currently set.
Second? Proper motion and a second. Let's do a roll call vote on that. Alderman Potts, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Alderman Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes on that. We do have an item that's also on there, citizen comments. This is open to any citizen who wishes to make a comment, including those related to agenda items. Is there anyone who wishes to make a comment to the committee from a citizen standpoint? As the mayor would say, seeing none, we'll close that part of it. Let's go then to approval of minutes. Those minutes are May 9th, 2024, Budget and Finance Committee. Has everyone had a chance to look at those? Any corrections or deletions to the minutes?
Move for approval.
Proper motion to a second.
Second.
Let's do a roll call vote on that then. Alderman Potts, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes on that also. New business. Item 3, consideration of resolution 2024-28, a resolution to amend City of Franklin disbursement policy. Christine? Welcome back.
Margaret,
And Margaret, welcome back.
thank you so much, and Margaret Wilson, our comptroller, will address the three policy items for us this afternoon.
As you know, each year the Finance Department reviews the financial policies and we make updates as needed. The first one this year is for the disbursement policies, and there are 9 proposed updates for those. The first is an update to add steps to accounts payable to make sure that there is no ACH or wire fraud. So when a new request comes in to change a bank account, we call and verify the information from the information we already have rather than a number that's given to us in an email. So we want to make sure that we secure the funds properly for the city. The second for disbursement policy is to set a de minimis amount of $50 by accounts payable or up to $100 by the city comptroller to be paid on an invoice that appears reasonable based on the type of payment. The third update relates to documentation required as complete documentation for payment of impact fees. Sometimes subcontractors don't have quite as much information as the full contractors, so we want to make sure we have everything that we need on those. The fourth update, this will allow employees who are away from their desk doing an all-day conference but still within the state or within the county, they can receive a business meal for that day to make sure they get lunch. The fifth update is to set a local lodging rate for contractors who have to come to town. The sixth helps clarify rounding on tips when it comes to when people are out to eat. And the seventh update goes along with that for ride shares. More people are using ride shares now, so we wanted to clarify the tipping on those expenses. The eighth update clarifies the city's retainage policy for vendors. As you know, we do not withhold retainage on everyday expenses and dollar amounts under $500,000. So we just wanted to put in some wording to make sure we had the policy in place for those projects $500,000 or greater. And the final disbursement policy is to stay consistent with the travel policy in regard to sales tax on restaurant meal receipts within Tennessee. We do our best, but we also understand sometimes at certain restaurants, especially fast food establishments, it's not always the easiest to get the sales tax removed. So we wanted to give people a policy to follow that. So with those, we just ask that any discussion, I'll gladly answer any questions but to recommend to the full board to make these policy changes.
Any questions from either of the, I don't have any questions. It's pretty self-explanatory and.
And all the
Oh, good.
updated language is in the
Yeah,
resolution.
it's there. So I'll entertain a motion then that we approve from the committee and forward to the full board the recommendations of Resolution 2024-28.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion is second. Let's do a roll call vote. Alderman Potts, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Alderman Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes on that also. So let's go then to consideration of draft policy 2024-29, a resolution to amend City of Franklin travel and expense policy. Margaret, are you up again?
Yes, I am.
All right.
For the travel and expense policy this year, we have two updates. The first one is to clarify mileage reimbursement for travel outside Williamson County for those employees who receive an automobile allowance. They don't receive auto allowance reimbursement like a regular employee would, but they can receive it up to half the rate if they travel outside of Williamson County to help offset some of that cost. And then the second update is discouraging the use of third-party travel sites like Travelocity, Expedia. This is due to unexpected fees, the collection of sales tax or uncollectible sales tax, and also there's less flexibility if plans have to change last minute for employees. So we're trying to, once again, make sure the city's money is used wisely in that aspect.
Any questions, or then I'll entertain a motion to approve and forward to the full board.
So moved.
Proper
Second.
motion second. Alderman Potts, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Alderman Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes on Resolution 2024-29. Then let's go to item 5, which is consideration of draft resolution 2024-30, a resolution to amend the City of Franklin capital assets policy. Policy.
The capital assets policy this year only has one update, and that is to clarify the needed information and time frame for that information for providing to the finance department for any purchase, donation, or disposal of a capital asset. So instead of just going by an invoice that we receive to pay, we want to make sure we have all the documentation in place for year end for auditors. So we've just added in a little bit more detail of what we need from each department.
Any comments or questions? Then I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Proper motion is second.
Second.
And let's do a roll call vote on that. Alderman Potts, how do you vote?
And actually, sir, I think I should state that motion to approve and forward to
Forward
the
to full
full board.
All right. And how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Potts. And Alderman Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes on that also. Then let's go to item 6, which is the financial report for the third quarter of FY 2024. Margaret, you're up again.
Yes, I am. I just first wanted to point out, I decided to add the Hayes House to the front of the report to honor the opening of that and our partnership with Friends of Franklin Parks. Wanted to make sure we recognize their hard work and all of that. So for quarter ending March 31st of 2024, currently our general fund shows a surplus of also almost $7.2 million. Our local sales tax, of course, is holding strong. We're 3% higher than last year. Street aid fund, our gasoline tax are equivalent to 2023. But two highlights that I would like to notate. In fiscal year 2024, we paid the last debt service payment for two bond funds. One was the 2010 refunding, which the original bonds were used for the 800 megahertz, Carruthers Road, Dry Branch, and Royal Oaks, and Harlansdale bond was in through that. And then the 2013 pension obligation bonds was paid off. So we were fortunate to get both of those paid off this year.
Excellent.
I was just reading through that. Any questions or comments?
Congratulations and well done.
Yes. Then, if there's no questions or comments and not anything to forward to the full board, let's go to item 7, monthly reports for June of 2024.
So once again, I would just like to point out sales tax for the month of March. We were once again holding strong against the prior year. I notated last month that the facilities tax from the county was slightly delayed. We fortunately received both of those payments in the month of May. So we are all caught up for the March payment and the April payment. And right now, we're nearly 40% higher than last year, year over year, for the county facilities tax.
Do those, because we're always looking at graphs, do those two payments then spike the month of?
No, because one actually, we accrue for them. We changed that this year, so they actually go back to the correct month that they are
Right.
in, or they should be in. So one went to March and one went to April. The county just happened to pay us both in May for those, because they're always at least 30 days behind. And then hotel motel, just a highlight is we are a little over 5% higher than 2023. So tourism is still holding strong within our hotel motel fund.
Any questions, Alderman Peterson or Alderman Potts?
None at this time.
All right. What is the next thing on the agenda, Alderman Potts?
Allow me to toggle back. And I'm going to say we have other business, and I have no other business to present. Alderman Peterson?
None.
And I have none. So I'll entertain yes.
I just want to confirm that the committee still wants to take the July break and then resume back on August the 8th, that is still your pleasure.
I'm fine with that. I think, I think that's okay with me.
You've earned a month off with all your budget meetings in January, February, through all the way through May, so.
So for those watching at home, this is the Thursday, July 11th at 3 o'clock Central Time will not take place.
Right, yep.
And I will gladly take that off the calendar.
And we'll gather again August 8th.
All right. Any other questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you.